A fisherman was walking along a rocky stretch of the Florida coast, looking for a quiet place to cast his line and enjoy the cool morning air, when something dark appeared between the waves. At first, Tucker Callaway thought it was part of a wrecked boat, but as the object drifted closer to the rocks, he stopped. It was too smooth, too narrow, and almost completely black. From a distance, it looked less like a fishing vessel and more like some kind of miniature submarine, or even something that had fallen from the sky. Tucker backed away and immediately called police. Within minutes, officers and Coast Guard personnel surrounded the area. A quick inspection confirmed their worst suspicion. This was not ordinary wreckage. Sitting half in the water on an American beach was a mysterious submarine-like vessel with no registration, no visible crew, and no explanation for how it had gotten there. But the real shock came when officers finally forced open one of its sealed compartments. What they saw inside made them stop the search immediately. Within minutes, federal authorities were being called to the scene, and the beach was sealed off. But before we start, smash the like button and make sure to subscribe if you haven't, and hit that notification bell so that you won't miss any new stories. Earlier that morning, none of this had seemed possible. Tucker was an experienced fisherman who had spent years around the Florida coast. He knew what ordinary marine debris looked like and had seen plenty of it after storms. That morning, he had gone out mostly to fish and enjoy the weather. The section of coast he chose was quiet, with patches of sand broken by dark rocks and shallow water. That was why the black object caught his attention so quickly. It did not move like loose debris. Waves lifted it, but the object stayed strangely level. Most of its body remained low in the water, while only a narrow raised section was visible above the surface. Tucker initially assumed he was looking at an overturned boat. Then he moved closer. The shape made less sense. There were no bright colors, no name, no registration numbers, and no obvious windshield. The hull was long and smooth, with a low profile that seemed deliberately designed to disappear against the water. Near the top was a small structure that looked almost like a short tower. Tucker stopped several yards away. He had never seen anything like it. The closer he looked, the more the object resembled a miniature submarine. He did not touch it. Instead, he moved farther back and called authorities. The first officers who arrived also kept their distance. They had no way of knowing whether the vessel contained fuel, batteries, hazardous material, explosives, or something else entirely. Coast Guard personnel were called to help identify it. As the tide shifted, more of the hull became visible. The vessel appeared to be only a fraction of the size of a military submarine, but it had clearly been built for ocean travel. Its body was enclosed. Its profile was extremely low. There were sealed access points along the hull. Still, one detail made no sense. There was no obvious place for a crew. Investigators searched for a cockpit, windows, a conventional hatch, or anything suggesting that people were supposed to operate the vessel from inside. They found none. A small upper section contained antennas and electronic hardware. Another access panel led to wiring, navigation equipment, batteries, and control components. But there were no seats, no steering wheel, no controls meant for human hands, no sleeping space, no life jackets, and no room for a pilot. The officers had been asking where the crew had gone. Now they realized they had been asking the wrong question. There had never been a crew to lose. The strange submarine was an unmanned marine vehicle. Someone had designed it to cross the water without placing a person inside. That discovery immediately changed the investigation. An abandoned boat could have drifted from almost anywhere. An unmanned submarine was different. It needed a purpose. It needed a destination. And somewhere, someone had been controlling it. Technicians began examining the electronics without powering the vessel back on. The system appeared to combine navigation equipment with a remote communication link. The idea was simple. The craft could travel low in the water while an operator monitored or guided it from somewhere else. Exactly where that operator had been remained unclear, but one thing was obvious. The machine had not been built for fishing, it had not been built for tourists, and it had not been built to carry people. Almost the entire central section of the vessel was devoted to one large sealed compartment that brought investigators back to the hatch that had caused officers to call federal authorities. Before opening it fully, the area around the vessel was cleared. The compartment was tightly sealed and appeared to have been designed to keep its contents dry even if waves passed over the hull. When the hatch finally came free, officers looked inside. Rows of tightly wrapped packages filled the compartment from one side to the other. Some had been placed inside waterproof bags. Others were covered in layers of black plastic and tape. There were so many that almost no empty space remained. No one needed long to understand why the vessel had been built with no seats. Its cargo space was more valuable than a cockpit. The packages were removed carefully and tested. The result turned the strange beach discovery into a major narcotics investigation – cocaine, more than a ton of it. The total street value was estimated at more than $15 million. For Tucker, the black object he had nearly dismissed as wreckage was suddenly part of something far larger than a maritime accident. For investigators, the drugs answered one question, but the technology created several new ones. Traditional smuggling boats depended on crews. If intercepted, the people on board could be arrested, questioned, and linked back to the organization. This vessel had removed that weakness. If authorities stopped it at sea, there was no captain to arrest, no crew to question, no frightened passenger who might identify who had launched it. The craft itself could be sacrificed. The people behind it could remain somewhere else. Investigators began tracing the vessel's construction and electronics. The hull appeared practical rather than sophisticated, built to stay low in the water, protect its cargo, and reduce the chance of being noticed. It was less like a military submarine and more like a marine drone shaped around a single jib. Move a large amount of cargo across water while exposing as few people as possible. The control system became one of the most important parts of the investigation. Experts determined that the vessel had likely been remotely controlled from another boat operating farther offshore. The operator would not need to sit directly beside the drone. The unmanned craft could travel separately, making it harder for anyone watching one vessel to immediately connect it to the other. At some point near the Florida coast, however, something went wrong. The remote control system appears to have malfunctioned. Instead of reaching the place where someone was waiting to recover it, the vessel continued toward shore. Waves and current eventually pushed it into the shallow water where Tucker found it. That meant the entire discovery may have happened because of one technical failure. Had the system continued working, the black craft might have remained low in the water, reached its intended rendezvous point, transferred its cargo, and disappeared again without anyone on the beach ever knowing it had been there. Investigators then focused on where the vessel had come from. Evidence developed during the investigation pointed toward a trafficking network connected to a Mexican cartel. That made the unusual design easier to understand. Drug organizations had spent years experimenting with boats and semi-submersible vessels designed to move large shipments while remaining difficult to detect from a distance. But removing the crew changed the equation again. Now, the smugglers did not need to risk several people for every shipment. The vessel could become the courier. The investigators also considered another uncomfortable possibility. A machine like this would have required money, testing, and practice. A remotely controlled marine drone carrying more than a ton of cocaine was unlikely to be something its builders wanted to lose on its first few minutes in the water. Its construction suggested planning. Its waterproof compartment suggested experience with ocean conditions. Its low profile suggested the builders understood exactly what they wanted the vessel to do. That raised a question no one on the beach could answer. Had other unmanned vessels already made the same journey successfully? The craft itself could not explain that. Its electronics could provide investigators with clues, but the ocean left almost no visible trail of where it had traveled. Once such a craft moved offshore, much of its body would be hidden by the sea. That was what made Tucker's discovery so unusual. The vessel had ended up in the one place its builders almost certainly never wanted it to be – on land, in daylight, surrounded by police. By the time authorities finished removing the packages, the quiet section of coast had become a controlled federal scene. The submarine-like drone was taken away for a deeper examination. Investigators wanted to know how it had been built, how it communicated, what route it had followed, and whether any of its components could lead them back to the people who launched it. Tucker, meanwhile, was left with the strange realization that he had almost walked past the most important clue in the entire case. When he first saw the object between the rocks, there had been nothing obviously criminal about it. No armed men, no speeding boat, no dramatic chase, just a black shape moving quietly with the waves, and that may have been the entire point. The vessel had been designed so that almost nobody would notice it. No crew above deck, no bright lights, no large cabin, almost nothing rising above the surface. Just a machine carrying millions of dollars worth of cargo toward someone waiting somewhere along the coast. In the end, the drugs explained why the submarine existed, but the most disturbing part of the discovery was not what officers pulled from the sealed compartment. It was what they did not find anywhere inside – a pilot. The craft had crossed the water without one. Someone far away had been guiding it while remaining completely separated from the cargo. And if the control system had not failed near that Florida beach, Tucker Callaway might have spent the morning fishing beside the rocks and never known that a black submarine carrying more than a ton of cocaine had passed silently through the water in front of him.